Hello there, welcome to the Newspaper Review here on TAP TV. My name is William Sabule and I'm so excited to have you join me here this morning. If you have just seen this video for the first time, do well to subscribe to this channel because every other day we bring you the newspaper headlines across Nigeria, across newspapers, and of course we get to analyze them here on the program. And we love to do that with you. How would you participate? Drop your comments and your reactions on the comment section. We'd love to see your comments and would like to read them and know what to think about these headlines. And to do the headlines with me here today is Mr. Victor Sioku. You are welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
All right, and together we're going to go through these headlines. Make sure you join us by dropping your comments and also follow us or connect with us on our social media handles. We're on Facebook as TAP TV. On Instagram is TAP TV_NG. Connect with us, stay with us right here on TAP TV. But today we're going to go straight to the papers and we'll begin with this day for today, the 30th day in the month of January. Finally, the month is over.
Yeah.
It seemed as if it wasn't going to come to an end.
So quick.
Yeah, but then we're here. So this is one of the last days, second to the last day in this month. But let's see what the papers are saying today. All right. On this day here, we have as a headline, Ganduje, Kano now ready for Buhari's visit. All right, and then just right under that, you see, use your PVCs to vote out APC, Saraki tells Nigerians. That's what you find on page 8 of this day newspaper. Also, other headlines here says NUPRC moves to end inaccurate accounting for Nigeria's oil gas production. All right. And the main headline here on this day says CBN deploys 30,000 agents nationwide to boost cash swap as Buhari approves deadline extension. Gives additional 10 days for return of 200 naira, 500 naira, 1,000 naira. The Emefiele says 1.9 trillion naira of old banknotes so far returned. Declares Apex Bank ready to exchange legitimately earned monies. Lawmakers divided as Elumelu backs extension. Dogowa reiterates threats to arrest Emefiele. Don't succumb to political pressure. Blackmail former Lagos deputy governor tells president. Analyst Lord extension. All right, that's all the detail, all the story concerning the deployment of 30,000 agents by, the CBN. And to get full details, make sure you pick up a copy of this day newspaper to read up the story. Mr. Victor, let me come to you. 30,000 agents nationwide. Is that going to help to fast track the process of the cash swap?
Well, it will help, but I am not sure that this will be solved in all totality. Some old nairas will be left in people's hands. Yeah. I mean, everyday Nigerian some will suffer the brunt of this new policy. Yeah. Okay, but I think there is something synonymous with all this that is happening. If you notice, Nigeria nowadays, when they give a deadline, it comes with extension. Nothing comes as in deadline doesn't remain deadline. Especially with the government. I'm just trying to say this is just the start.
But in this case, do you agree with the time frame? Is it adequate enough to to swap to the new notes? Or looking at the challenges of the unavailability of the old of the new Naira notes, plus the old Naira notes being more in circulation than the new Naira notes up until the initial deadline. Do you agree with the shortness of the time? I say it's a short time frame.
The extra time being given?
No,
from the 90 days
3 months,
to the plus 10 days plus the 7 days. Personally, I do not think is small. Okay. I think it's enough. But unfortunately, the players here, the CBN and the banks, are, to me, they did not come up to do their bidding.
Yeah.
You just ask the question, why is it that many a times in the O1 bears you see during the weekends, you find persons carrying words of this new Naira and they are spraying it? There is this video I watched recently, just from the Saturday event, one of them. My brother, you just see a suitcase of the new Naira note and you just be wondering, mind you, the CBN gave directives to the banks to dispense this money through the ATMs so that it can get to the common man. Then you wonder, why would one human
how did they lay their
carry 1 million of this Naira of 200 naira and 500. I'm not talking about 1,000. As in the 200 and the 500, you see money worth 1 million in the person's hand. Then you ask, who will the person meet in situations like this? It will be the CBN.
Yeah.
Certainly, it has to be the bank. And many a times, it goes through the head of the operations and the bank managers. So you find out that leadership is not just by the number one person in the helms of affair. The leader up there should also make sure that his or her comrades should come through.
Yeah.
So right now, you find out that people on the street, just imagine like 1 million naira is being shared is being dispensed in the ATMs.
Yeah.
You know that, okay, I can't withdraw more than 20,000. This person can. In that way, the money will flow.
Yeah.
So yes, I like the idea of the extension. Reason because it will give the innocent ones more time to go and deposit their. Many times it's mini cash that we are talking about. The big monies, if you have not deposited your big monies by now, my brother, there is something behind your person.
Yeah.
So they have the CBN governor went to Naira to see the president. The president was there over the weekend.
Yeah.
They met and there was an extension of 10 days. Yes, but from the from the APC, which we know that the APC are the ones
Trying to fight back.
yeah. Not just the APC, the
Political class.
the Tinubu's team. They are the ones really fighting against this. But if you also check, you find out that the president seems to be on his ground on this matter. Reason, the extension was given from the 1st of February to the 10th. Then a grace period. It was just when I was going through the details, and I found out that it's even stipulated in the CBN rules that there should be grace periods. So a grace period of 7 days was also applied, meaning that we are waiting till the 17th for the new Naira to take total control. Then you now check, when is the next election? Just about 8 days. Meaning that the presidency is targeting that vote buying will be reduced. It might not go completely.
Yes.
Will be reduced. And there is this, for me, I think he has that strong information that, see, some politicians out there are still holding this money tight because of the election.
Very true.
But good news to the CBN. The CBN has also achieved a lot with this
For them to mop
policy.
up to 1.9 trillion. That's a lot of
exactly
a gain for them.
Of course. So right now in the system we have about 900 billion that is here to be
Make it back.
go back to the system. So on the long run, you find out that the policy was a good one.
Was.
And if you check with the exchange rate has not really gone bad over this period. And inflation rate has also improved. So you need to give him some kudos to that.
Yes. I think they have done well. I've always just had an issue with the whole process of the exchange. I cannot wrap my head around the reason why we have to go through so much struggle to just exchange money for money. I mean, why should we go through much struggle? But if that's already happening, and it's annoying, it's frustrating, where you go to these ATMs, they have refused to load up these ATMs because they don't have the new Naira notes to dispense from these ATMs. So when you go to a lot of ATMs, you don't have money coming out of it. And the ones that have the new Naira notes, you see queues from here to Sokoto, pretty long. People scrambling to get to withdraw this money, and you cannot even withdraw more than 20,000 at once. So all of this very cumbersome process of swapping this Naira for the old one for the new one, it's my own problem with the whole switch. But then aside that, the whole policy was a very good one. At least it will create some kind of balance or ease of tension during the elections, which is what we are seeing. For the fact that some group of politicians are complaining about, you people are targeting me, that means the whole policy worked as planned, which is a good move by the government of Buhari. You can see that from their body language, they are trying to ensure that there is a free and fair election coming up. We don't know if this is just for the optics. We don't know, but then their body language seems to speak in that direction, that they want this election to hold peacefully and everybody should participate, and it should be a level playing ground, because they haven't been speaking so much about or campaigning for their APC candidate, which is that of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We haven't seen the president go to most of the rallies that have been held. If not naturally, he is supposed to be in most of these rallies being held across the country for the APC candidate, but you don't see that happening. So, yeah, I love the fact that their body language seemed to be very positive regarding the election. And then we can tie that to the CBN policy that is really causing a lot of confusion out there. All right, let's move on to our next paper. And our next paper for today, the 30th of January, will be the Daily Sun newspaper. And on Daily Sun here, we have as headline, Presidency NANS on coalition cause over constitution review. You find that story on page 6 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Moving downwards, we see APC accuses PDP of plot to circulate fake news about Tinubu. Details is on page 27 of the Daily Sun newspaper. The main headline here says 1.9 trillion naira back in banks as CBN extends old notes deadline and lists EFCC, ICPC to monitor banks. Reps insist Emefiele must appear before it. Reps insist Emefiele must appear before it. We'll move on to other headline here. It says violence may mar 2023 elections. Supreme Council for Sharia warns. Details is on page 27 of the Daily Sun, and I'll take this one too. It says brace up for severe flooding this year. NEMA warns Nigerians. That story is on page 29 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Well, NEMA is in the news again about the warnings for flood, and that is not a very good news to
Really
hear.
troubling.
You know,
Really
after
troubling.
the experience of 2022 here in the south, I don't think we want to hear news like this one. And it seems to me like the rains have started early this year. We just hope that it eases off and this prediction doesn't really come to light. It's not going to be a funny thing. People are yet to recover from the losses they incurred from, the last flood experience. All right, let's move on to the last headline I'll be taking here on the Daily Sun, and that will be this one. It says Black Sunday, 19 killed as container crushes commercial bus in Lagos. 11 burned to death in Ore Benin Express accident. Gunmen kill 3 policemen, 2 soldiers in Ebonyi. All right, details of that very story you find on page 4 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Well, I really can't shy away from talking about this story, which is this one titled Black Sunday. Over the weekend, I don't know, there were just too many, accidental deaths this past weekend. And the one that really got to me was the trailer, falling over in Lagos State. And that was really, this has been a regular thing in Lagos State. I'm afraid I'll say it that way. It has happened time and time again, where you have trailers falling on top of, other vehicles, other cars driving around Lagos. And I don't know what the Lagos State government has been doing about it, but whether we like it or not, Lagos is a commercial city. And it's a doorway into the city, into the country, I mean to say. So these containers will surely pass through, these axes. But then, if the government doesn't do anything to, protect other drivers, it's beginning to become worrisome. Well, how do you react to that story?
It is so demoralizing.
Yes, it is.
It is so disturbing that the way people die in this country through accidents, and these are ways that these things can be monitored, it can be controlled. How can a container fall on people? Does it make sense to you in a time like this?
Yeah, looking at the pictures, you see that it even fell on commercial buses and taxis, and because of the way Lagos State is, when this happens, there's nearly a chance where you will not have, very bad impact, where you will not have a lot of people dying, because their roads are always very busy, morning till late hours of the evening. So I don't know what could be the solution to this in Lagos State.
When I tell some people out there, I know, Lagos is some areas in Lagos, so sweet, so lovable, you will not even believe that you're in Nigeria.
Yeah.
But they still have places that need government help.
Yeah.
So this happened at Ojo Eleba axis, just near the bridge, and we already knew that that place. Yes, it's not even the worst areas in Lagos, so it's not about among the worst areas, but we know that that place has its own issues because of the trailers that go through Apapa and all those ways that
go towards Apapa.
Yes. So, but you just wonder, why would, in a time like this, a trailer with container will now fall?
Yeah, hey! I don't even understand how the checks and balances they do with these guys. But then, how did they leave the ports with containers on top of their trucks, not well tied, or these vehicles, the tires are not well checked, so that they don't have, busted tires and these containers come crashing? And the most annoying part is that this is not the first time, it's not the second time, neither is it the third time that this is happening. It has happened time and time again. I think it was just last year where the same situation around that same area, where a container fell off the bridge downwards and killed people there, including one young aspiring lawyer also. So these things have happened. We've heard these stories time and time again. The government of Lagos, they needs to do something. They need to get back to work and do something about this thing, because innocent lives, promising lives are being lost every single day, and it's no longer funny. It's not funny.
So in the US, they say guns kill people anyhow in the US. So when some persons are saying, oh, why are you going to the US? There are guns everywhere and people are dying. See, in Nigeria, only the unreported accidents that happen in this country. Okay, look at in Jos and Ondo, they reported, I think, 13. Ebonyi State, that one was just killings. 3 policemen were shot dead.
Yeah.
These are like I said, these are the ones that have been reported.
Yeah.
If you go down the street, you find out that many things are happening.
True.
So, and also, this is not just about, I don't think the new president will even solve this matter. It has been there. It might just take well, I say God will just come down and just save us. My brother.
Oh, that's really sad.
It's really sad. The way people lose their lives in this country, oh my God.
It's alarming. All right, that's all we'll be taking from the Daily Sun newspaper. Do well to pick up a copy of that paper to read up the story. Well, right now we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with our last paper for today on the newspaper review. You stay tuned. We'll be right back. Now that you have registered for your PVC, it doesn't stop there. Ensure you pick up your PVC. Be alert. Join many Nigerians to vote credible leaders that will change the tide of this nation. Do not sell your vote. Remember, this is our future. Your vote is your voice.
This message is proudly brought to you by Thav Media Limited.
All right, you're welcome back from that very short break. We're still here on the newspaper review, and we want to thank you for staying with us up to this time. All right, we'll take our last paper for today, and that will be the Nigerian Tribune for today, the 30th of January 2022. And on the Nigerian Tribune here, we have as headline, Atiku wants banks to step up mobile banking. Nigerians should be grateful for his advice to Buhari spokesman. Extension of Naira swap, Tinubu had vindicated APC. Details on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune. We'll go on to other headlines here. It's Kano now ready to receive Buhari. Ganduje says 24 LGAs have no banks. Right, then we see as headline, as the main headline, it says Naira redesign, 900 billion still stuck in people's homes. CBN governor announces Buhari's approval of 10-day extension of Naira swap. Says 1.9 trillion old notes retrieved so far. EFCC, ICPC agents to now monitor guidelines implementation. Reps committee rejects extension, says Apex Bank governor must appear before House. Details of all of this you'll find on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune. We'll move on to other headlines still on the Nigerian Tribune here. It says gunmen kill 3 policemen at checkpoint in a Boeing. And also we see this one, 13 die in Ondo Bauchi auto crashes. Lastly, let me take this headline. It says, allow us to go home and vote. NANS tells federal government, warns government to close tertiary institutions nationwide. The National Association of Nigerian Students are calling for their fellow students to go home and participate in the elections. Do you agree to that call?
It's a tough call. It's a tough call, but when you're also looking from the other side, you be like, they are being disenfranchised. I think it's a delicate situation right now. And when you also look back, you find out that many of these students and youth are the ones that came about this change of going out to register for PVCs. Okay, so you check out from the timeline of 2020, when the NSAS movement happened in October 2020, when the NSAS movement. So one will be like from that 2020 till now. Let's say about 50% of students then must have graduated, but the answer is no. Reason because we had 9 months of strike. So it tells you that a whole lot of students are out there with that NSAS wave still in them, that they want to really choose who they want to become the next president of the country. So the NANS have come out and say, okay, see, we need some time. Yes, like you mentioned earlier on, people like Paul Okoye and some, popular faces out there have come out to say, see, something needs to be done about this.
Yeah, they need to participate.
But like I said the other time, most of these students too do not also have these monies to make these trips. If you ask me, it is a very challenging period. I don't know how much you bought fuel. Like in Hilda Dokubo's voice, how much did you buy fuel?
350.
Okay,
So it's been really high up there.
Okay. So even some places 500 now. So you find that, and the election, you cannot tell me a Messiah will come and help the situation of this fuel pay. We don't even. I'm not optimistic about it. I think it's something that will linger maybe just till June, if you ask me. So it is not really easy for these students to from that other aspect. But for some schools that think that yes, they have the backbone that they can carry this calendar when they give them breaks in between. Mind you, March 11th and 20. How do you now want to split these breaks?
Everywhere 2 weeks stretch. It would have made some sense, but we don't know. But then I think they have a point. The students should participate, because if you look at it, most of them came out to register. These high turnout of newly registered voters, if you go check them, most of them are young people. And if you check even further, you will find out that they are not just young, they are in schools. So they have registered. Some of them have successfully picked up their PVCs, but they have registered in Rivers State and their school is in Abeokuta. So they are back in school. When the election time comes, they are in Abeokuta. They can make a trip back here to vote. So those are some of the things that I don't know who is going to help to do this. Well, even if the federal government gives them the public holiday period, maybe 2 days prior to that time, say all students should return home. Like you rightly said, not all of them will go back home because they may not have the financial strength to do so. So they stay back and still don't participate in the process. All of these are some of the setbacks that the elections might have to face. People, voter apathy, as it were, for students might just be the case. But I like the fact that some people are coming out to call for the federal government to give these breaks for students to participate. I love it when Paul Okoye came out on his page on Instagram to say, okay, why is it that students will still be in school when these elections are going to come up? Is it not wise to let them home so that they can participate? People came out for him saying all manner of things, but you see it now that it's not out of line. NANS has also joined that bandwagon, calling for these students to go home and also participate in the election, which is wise if you ask me. We need all of that.
Yes, we do.
In the box.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
All right, you want to add more?
Okay. The last part of it is that when you also check from the part of the young Nigerians out there, mind you, we still had the opportunity to transfer our polling units.
Okay.
So when you come from that angle, I think it's a bit complex, because some of them were at home and did their registration. Some on their own might have also transferred.
Yeah.
Okay. But you just have to leave that gap of or that the chance that many of them did not even have hope of going back to school anytime soon.
Very true.
So they will register in their houses and choose a polling unit in their house. So I think going forward, yes, these are also times for INEC to gather this data, so that in the next election we should have avenues whereby you can transfer your units within the shortest period of time, your polling unit within the shortest period of time, and majorly let the diaspora be involved in our election.
Well, I don't know. As INEC haven't they addressed that situation about diaspora voting? I don't think that's going to happen in this election.
No, it's not going to happen in this
subsequently.
Yes.
They might just create room for that, but this election might not be
highly important too.
All right. That's all the story we should be taking today on the newspaper headlines. We want to thank you, our viewers, for staying with us up to this time on the program. Don't forget, you can join us tomorrow again for a new episode of the review, and also drop your comments and your reactions on the comment section. We'd love to hear from you here on the program. Till next time I come your way again, my name is William Sabule, and this has been the Newspaper Review.